So I got to looking at what your guys' favorite videos have been, and it came as no surprise that the most watched videos on the channel are the best and worst neighborhoods in Vancouver. So I went back and I got to looking at those old videos, and I did not like what I saw. So it's time for a refresh and give you guys an updated version of the best and worst neighborhoods in Vancouver. So we're going to start off with the best neighborhood. So if you guys are looking for some of the nicest neighborhoods in Vancouver, Washington, stick around. All right, so the first neighborhood we're going to show you guys is Fisher's Creek. Now, this little neighborhood in the southeast corner of Vancouver is tucked in between 164th and 192nd Avenues, and it is the perfect choice if you're looking for a neighborhood that has just a little bit of everything. So if you're looking for nice homes, quiet streets, good schools, someplace that's close to shopping, doctor's offices, parks, and it's also a quick and easy drive to get to the freeway, that's Fisher's Creek. When it comes to housing, there's not usually a lot of homes up for sale over here at any given time, which is kind of a testament to how much people like the area. Now, if you do fall in love with the neighborhood, you've got some variety in what's out there. You can find townhomes in gated communities, single-family homes on pretty decent-sized lots that, they're not going to leave you feeling claustrophobic. And then you've also got your average subdivision homes, which can be found in there too. Now, according to niche.com, Fisher's Creek gets an overall grade of A, with A grades in schools, good for families, and diversity. Housing and nightlife also got Bs, and with a population of roughly 3,500 people in the neighborhood, it's a pretty small, tight-knit community that's close to everything. Now, about 15 years ago, I used to live over in this area, and one thing that I've noticed when I come through the area today is that overall, they still seem to have done a pretty good job of keeping this whole neighborhood and this area of East Vancouver is still pretty nice. Not like a lot of other areas in Vancouver that I can think of, but we'll save that for another video and another day. All right, on to the next one. All right, well, we're over here on this side of town. We're going to head up 164th Ave, and we're going to go check out our next neighborhood, and that's going to be the First Place neighborhood. Now, I've mentioned First Place before in some of my other videos. This is one of my favorite neighborhoods over here on the east side of town in East Vancouver. It's a small neighborhood. It's just north of Mill Plain, but because it's tucked back up into the trees, away from all the traffic and everything else like that on Mill Plain, you get that nice, quiet neighborhood experience. Now, this is also an area of higher-end homes with prices that start in the $700,000s and easily go over $1 million. And all you have to do is drive through this neighborhood to really understand why the prices are what they are. Now, this is not just another subdivision with cookie-cutter homes. Most of these are going to be larger square footage, custom homes on pretty good-sized lots. And like the Fisher's Creek neighborhood, there doesn't really seem to be a lot of turnover here in this neighborhood because I don't usually see a lot of homes up for sale over here. Now, for example, right now there looks to be about only 2 homes on the market. One is listed at $970,000. It's a nice size home, but it also needs a little bit of work. And the other one is listed at $1.65 million. Which I've seen this one in person, and if you guys like that modern style and your checking account can handle that price tag, this is a damn nice house. Now, all things considered, for a neighborhood that's right in the heart of town, close to everything, schools, shopping, hospitals, the freeway, you name it, it's a quiet, upscale neighborhood where you really wouldn't think twice about letting your kids play in the yard or walk to a friend's house on their own. And even being the born and bred country boy that I am, I could definitely see calling the First Place neighborhood home if I was looking at, needing to live in the city or wanting to live in the city. But I don't see that one happening anytime soon. All right, now one quick reminder, I am a licensed real estate agent here, and selling homes is how we keep the lights on and the kids fed around here. So if you're looking for an agent to work with, and help find your new home here in Southwest Washington, reach out anytime, call, text, email. You guys know what to do. All right, let's get back to it. All right, we're going to leave East Vancouver and head over to the west side of town where we're going to stay for the rest of the video. Now, first up over here is the Pleasant Valley and Barberton areas. Now, these neighborhoods are just east of Salmon Creek, and they're starting to get you out into the country a little bit. Now, these neighborhoods are just down the road from WSU Vancouver, Legacy Salmon Creek Hospital, tons of restaurants and shopping centers, Costco. You've got pretty good rated schools out here. Really, pretty much everything that you're looking for in a move to Washington is going to be right here in this little area. Now, because these neighborhoods are just a couple of minutes away from the I-5 and 205 junction, you can go from being at home to either freeway in just a few minutes. Now, for a lot of years, this was primarily a rural area, and you still get bits and pieces of that as you go through the area with small farms and small acreage properties that are kind of peppered in between the subdivisions. But now, like with everything else, over the years, it's been slowly growing out here. So now there's a mix of small family subdivisions, small acreage properties and farms, some new townhome developments. There's even some smaller, more affordable single family developments for those of you guys that aren't working with a huge budget. Now, a lot of this area is new and newer construction, so it's not just a bunch of older rundown homes that used to be nice. And really, even a lot of the older neighborhoods that are here are kept up really nicely. So for those of you that are worried about buying into a neighborhood just to watch it go downhill, Pleasant Valley and Barberton have a pretty good track record so far. All right, now just up the road from Pleasant Valley is the Mount Vista and Salmon Creek neighborhoods, which is where we're at right now. So these two areas sit right at the freeway junction. You've got Mount Vista on the east side and Salmon Creek on the west side. Now, for all transparency, I live just outside the Mount Vista neighborhood, so I'm a little biased in favor of it, partly because it's got some killer views of Mount St. Helens, but also because it's just an overall nice, quiet neighborhood. Now, everything here is pretty much all single-family residential and the Washington State University Vancouver campus. There is one good-sized apartment complex on the edge of the neighborhood, but I mean, that's pretty much it for multifamily living in Mount Vista. Now, Mount Vista is a bit of a mix with older and newer developments. Most of the older homes here are pretty well cared for. And, you know, even though a lot of them are still rocking the 70s and 80s design choices and floor plans, for the most part, they're all pretty decent homes. And as you go further north up 29th Ave through the neighborhood, you'll start getting into the nicer, newer, and more high-end developments. There's even a few gated luxury communities tucked in here too. Now, one of the nice things about Mount Vista is that there's a pretty wide price range to pick from. You can occasionally find homes down in the $400,000 to $500,000 range, and with new developments like Kingston Homes West Haven development, you go well over $1 million. And now when we move over into Salmon Creek from Mount Vista, really it's kind of a lot of the same. Probably one of the biggest differences is that Salmon Creek is a little bit more spread out than Mount Vista. It has a larger population. You've got a lot of shopping centers, restaurants, schools, Legacy Salmon Creek Hospital, other businesses mixed in there. But generally speaking, Salmon Creek is another nice suburban area with pockets of high-end homes and more moderately priced homes and condos. There's also going to be multifamily living with apartments and things like that here too. All right, guys, we are coming down to the last neighborhood on our list. Now, if you guys have any questions about any of the neighborhoods that we've talked about in today's video or any other neighborhoods, don't be afraid to reach out. I'm always happy to answer any questions you guys have about any of the neighborhoods that you might be looking at here in Southwest Washington. Now, we're going to head west of Salmon Creek and over into the Felida area. With roughly 9,500 people out here in this neighborhood, Felida is really less of a neighborhood, and it's what's known as a census-designated place. Now, for those of you guys that don't know what that means, think bigger than a neighborhood, but smaller than a city, and that's Felida. Now, Felida is just north of downtown Vancouver, and it's sandwiched between Salmon Creek and Hazeldale on the east side, and Vancouver Lake and Lake River to the west. And there's a pretty good mix of older neighborhoods that are still really nice out here. There's newer, kind of upper mid-level priced homes, and then there's several luxury home options to choose from out here. For several years, Felida has been home to the Parade of Homes. Last year, it was the Ashbury development. This year, it's going to be the Reserve at Lake River. And I kind of like to think of Felida as like the West Side Camas. It's an area of nice, higher end homes that is really popular. Now, aside from good homes and nice neighborhoods, Felida is kind of your stereotypical quiet suburb. You got nice parks, safe streets, good schools. There's not really a big criminal element or homeless issue out here in this area. You've got some nice little restaurants, pubs, bistros out here. You're still reasonably close to the freeway. It's less than about a 10-minute drive to I-5 at either Salmon Creek or Hazeldale. And then you do have the Hazeldale and Salmon Creek areas for shopping, whether it's groceries, clothes, things like that. Now, Felida has been one of the more popular areas in Vancouver for a while now, and as you drive through the neighborhood, you'll really be able to understand why. Now, if you guys want to talk more about your plans to buy or sell a home here in Vancouver or anywhere in Southwest Washington, feel free to reach out anytime. Call, text, email, the information's all down below. And I love hearing from you guys, so don't be afraid to reach out. Do me a quick favor before you head out of here. If you got anything from today's video, go ahead and hit that like button, consider subscribing to the channel, and tap the notification bell if you want to know the next time I put out a new video. And I think that's going to about do it. So we'll see you guys on the next one.